This week's video is a quick heads up on a megaflow issue that I think it is, but it turns out to be something else. There's an issue on the central heating, but I go through a variety of different checks to try and track this thing down. 5 months later, we've had no calls. Then from there I go on to another job. We put in a Salus budget install, cheap and cheerful. From there, go on to a Worcester Bosch leak. So that's all in this week's. So I've got an exclusive on a tool that I've been dying to get a hold of for ages, and finally it's come about. So I'm going to be taking delivery of that hopefully this next week coming, and then I'm going to start to review it, put it through its paces, opinion of it for you guys and the manufacturer. Let's go to work. Okay, so we've had a call here. Customers complaining of water's leaking outside. We need to replenish the airspace within this. Cold water turned off to the hot water cylinder. What we have to do is crank this open. When you crank it open and open up the hot water tap, and the airspace is replenished, allowing somewhere to expand and to contract into, thus not putting pressure on the rest of the system. Every time you let go of it, it stops. So you have to stand here for 20 minutes. So here's a quick tip for you. We've all got one of these in the van. If you are going to use this method, and you've got a tiled floor below, put a towel or some sheets down so that if it does fall off it or you do knock it, it doesn't crack one of the lovely customers' tiles. The only thing is that you should only be working on these if you do have the unvented hot water cylinder cert. So under no circumstances work on these as a homeowner. You can do this because they give you the clear instructions of how to do this on the side of the megaflow as the homeowner, but doing any other work on it is prohibitive, and I wouldn't suggest it because when these things go wrong, they go wrong in a big way. So the customer has reported that she can hear dripping outside. So I've just noticed there's another, has a tundish on it over. Just see it there. Clearly looks like it's had quite a lot of stuff going through it in the past. So now, and if you look down here, you can see it looks pretty much like it could have been coming from this corner here. So I'm servicing the hot water cylinder and draining out the water, and it's going out of here, which is fine, but it could be that it's that. Expansion vessel here, and it's been put in on the central heating. The idea is that this allows for expansion and contraction of the water in the heating circuit. If we have a look on here, 1/4 of a bar of water pressure in the system. When you fit these, they're pre-charged, and in this case this is pre-charged to 1.5 bar. Let's have a look and see what this one is actually charged to. That, and we'll see what it's showing. And it's showing pretty much what it says on that, 1 3/4, something like that. So you've got 1.5 bar thereabouts in there, and you've got a pre-charge, and you've got the gauge up there showing less than like 1/4 of a bar. So my point is, when you fit these, I would say take these down to what the standard is. So realistically, what we need to do is take a bit of air out of this. This way, this will allow you somewhere for the water to expand. Because at the moment, all it's doing is it's creating a hard space. It's coming up against virtually like a brick wall, the water. It's got nowhere to expand. Hence why it's never had any water in it. Because it's never going to get in there with the pre-charge that pressure. This would have to be up to 1 3/4 and more before it even stops coming in here. So that's my tip. An isolation on this side here. Shame they didn't use one of those Tesla things that I just reviewed, but this is all wet. So I have a funny feeling that that could be the issue. So let's get that out. It's quite difficult for me to film in here, so we've ended up having to take the manifold out because the PRV was the most elusive to find. We'll check this anyway. Okay, so we've got 21 psi in there. So let's bring it down. So that they're not so 13, unlucky me, eh? Well, let's live dangerously today. I wasn't expecting to be doing this. Better off. That's when your instinct kicks in, where you have to think, what a, oh, you bastard thing. Okay, so this has got to come out. Oh, it's awkward as hell. If I could only show you how irritating and how awkward it is to get up where I am. Now that feels like it's got to go in a hell of a lot deeper, said the vicar to the nun. Oh, my stomach is rumbling. That's us. So that's it up there. But as you can see, you can't really get to it, and the bottom of the top of the mega flow is there, so it's a bit precarious to try and you're miles off the floor. Now I'm just going to top it back up, so you can just hear the crackling of the expansion vessel just taking a bit there. Turn that off. Double check it for leaks. Not going to be a lot of pressure up here. The reason being is that we're on the top floor of a massive house in North London and there is no more pressure left, so that's as much as you're going to get. Because I'm not sure which or if any of these are letting by, sorry. These can be a real pain, these. You can break these quite easily. The idea is that I'll take this down a bit. Do in this situation is I'll just stick my finger in the hole and it seems dry. It was leaking last night. I mean, it's possible that that would dry. A lot easier to do it now rather than have to come all the way back into central London to do something like this. And if you can do one fixes, wow, your customers will at the very least send you a nice Christmas card. They don't want to be taking time off. It's aggravation for them to come back here to let you in. So we're all back on now. Leaked a little bit of wet, but that is definitely pipe slice mania. Wow. And the pump, if I'm honest, doesn't look great either. So it's difficult for me to find a decent angle. Look at the state of that. It's like a dog's dinner in there. Suppose it's not growing mushrooms. Right, you're going to see me doing a lot of this. Can you hear how tinny that sounds? That's okay, as you know, because I've just pressurised it. But we'll do another one when I find one that's knackered and you'll hear the difference. So now we're done, the water stopped draining out, this is closed, so all we have to do is close this tap, open the stopcock back open, And that's it. That's our job done. So that's the Megaflow, replenishing the airspace. Quite straightforward. About 30 minutes this took to drain that out. That little tip there. Good idea, I think, anyway. Let me know if you like it in the comments section. Back to one of the jobs. The thermostat's been coming on just in the middle of the night on its own, which leads me to wonder if it's faulty or if change the settings and see if that resolves it, or see if the customer would like to upgrade to, say, a Nest, which is Boiler Plus compliant. Customers complaining that this one is turning on and off. So I'll change the dip settings on this. Last. Okay. Do the same down here. It's working now. You can see it's gone green. That's awesome. Blood pressure. Got a leak. It's like a Worcester system boiler. Big old lump it is, I tell you. Leak in the boiler. Maybe you can see water dripping out somewhere. So let's have a look inside. Chopped it up here and I'm looking for a leak. So nothing really going on in there. We'll have a look up here. Got no real issue. Could do with a couple of screws in there. Hey, what's that? Bingo, there's our leak. So put some PTFE on it, screw that back in.